Hey everybody, and welcome back to Koali Zoo, to episode number 18, if I'm not completely wrong. Is it 18, 19?
Isn't this 19?
I'm not
I think it's 19.
It's 19.
Yeah. Well, the crew is partly here. It's Sylph and Mike today. Hello.
Still alive.
Hello, everybody.
We're missing out, unfortunately, on the lady today. Mainly, she's got some private stuff to do, and we are recording pretty late night again. It's on my bed, but whatever. So we're gonna have a good boys group today. And before we jump in, let me just tell you guys that this is
What is that? Oh yeah.
This was actually fitting with that dude running.
Let me just agree with his statements, okay?
Good. I see that being a good episode today. Oh my lord. Okay, so before we go in at what I actually built, so you're used to having time lapses from me, but this is actually already the second episode we are doing a tour, and it's the same reason as last time. I just did a little bit too much for a time lapse, so it's not presentable.
Well, you've been teasing like a little bitch, and I want to see it.
Yeah. But before we start moving, there's one thing I need to mention. I took, let's say, 2 or 3 hours, and I fixed basically every issue about the zoo when it comes to the actual gameplay. So I went into every habitat. I fixed some of the issues regarding starvation and dehydration. And I mean the issues that haven't been caused by Frontier and have been fixed now. Yeah, we had some issues because the keeper behavior changed to the better, but we had still stuff in place with the old system. So where they were still favoring the enrichment items, which mostly were placed, for example, in arboreal areas, which the keepers cannot reach and stuff like that. So I changed this a little bit so that every animal is now happy. I put some coolers in and some heaters where it was needed, and stuff. So actually quite a bit, but it was, you won't see that. It's just like when you enter the game again, you shouldn't have any issues. Also, the only notifications left are the 31 misplaced education boards. And I'm guessing these are the ones that you added last time.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, well, okay. Let's get going.
But we can turn off notifications anyway, right?
No,
You know, if it's 31, maybe a bunch of them broke in the macro house too. Oh, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, whatever. But I think it's all fine. I mean, yeah. So what we are going to look at today is a little bit of a change of the highlands. And I'm going to rotate already. And you can catch already that this is the station that has been barebone at the beginning. But there has been a huge change. So before I turn my camera further to the left, you can see far in the back.
Oh, I can see them sidelines.
There is my freaking old, little zipline adventure. And I still had an issue to bring it in story-wise. So I did a little bit of a research what could be done, and there we go, rotating to the left-hand side. We still have a little bit of an issue with the incline here. We might figure to do like a little staircase here to make it a bit easier.
Yeah, I think that's not ADA compliant.
Exactly. I tried to do some stuff today, but the terrain didn't let me, so I was like, come on, screw it.
I think wheelchair users are going to be bodybuilders by the time they're at the top of this.
So, what we have here is a little llama farm. And I was using the idea to bring in an old, it's actually, again, Dutch architecture-inspired building.
Yeah, it's such a cool building.
And, we have a petting zoo at the right-hand side of the llamas, actually. And this is a little kind of petting area over here. Where you can see, you can grab yourself some apples here or some stuff. And then there's a little education board over here, which tells you how to use it and how to do it. Cool. And then you have this area over here where the keepers can actually give you a little tour. Now, you can see some of the guests running, some don't. I used this little trick by placing a car ride underneath the track, but it really didn't work too well for me. So I needed to figure some stuff. It works now, but I'm not really sure what exactly that is. So before we go to the building, I also did a little bit of gardening here to the left-hand side. So the building has also a nice little backstage area. We are going to look at that in a bit. But to resolve one of the teasers, I am just moving into the position I took.
Oh, that's where that picture is taken.
Here, I put out the chairs. So this is a little hidden backstage area for the staff members that are working in here.
Cool.
So I gave them a little shade so they can have a seat down there.
And have a smoke,
you
and I got smoke coming out of the...
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that is the building, and then we see some llamas running. And this is actually where the llamas are living, and that is a banana plantation.
Whoa!
And this
that's really cool.
banana plantation is here to connect the story, because I thought, okay, this zipline adventure, what is that? Okay, so why is it here? Who is running it? And I figured, like, you can see this pretty often in Indonesia and everywhere like that. So many of the farms have kind of additional tourism to it. You know, the farms are existing, they're making their money with the farms, but they most often have like safari tours, jeep tours, or these kind of quad ride adventures, and some of the zip lines. And so I connected this over here, and I thought,
I mean, I should say this is actually, sorry to interject, but this is a very common thing. I think a lot of nowadays very big theme parks started out as fruit picking farms, like way back in the early 20th century. So that's really cool.
Exactly. So I built a little bit of a farm over here. I tried to give them a bit of a shelter here on the left hand side. Oh, look at that! There's actually a llama lying around. I made some Euro pallets, some custom ones. So we have some stuff over here. Oh, look at that llama! Oh, I love them. These animals are so cool. They are pretty cheeky, but they're kind of cool. Oh, it's pooping for us. Let's move the gum away. We have some stuff over here, and the whole farm you can walk up until you reach the very top where the zip line is. It's kind of a zigzag course that goes up. I wouldn't say we go there. We can just zoom out later on. I just want to show you the backstage that there still is some stuff.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, we have just a bit of bare bone backstage area here.
It's effective.
Yeah, some cars on the right hand side. And so there's still plenty of room left for the back here. So I remember that we have still some red pandas on the agenda and stuff. So I still left some stuff. Oh, God, stop pooping, guys.
Oh, my lord. That's a lot of poop.
Yeah. So that was the first thing.
I'm shocked how layered this exhibit is.
Yeah. I needed to somehow bring this into a chocolate mountain.
There's a llama up there.
Yeah, it's lying down here. So we will when we zoom out later.
This must be huge.
Yeah, it's quite huge. It stretches out all to the left here, and then it turns around to the right hand side and goes all the way around to the right hand side.
The are incredibly clever, by the way.
I actually, these are not the in-game banana trees. I rotated another tree,
the Joshua tree,
because I figured that. Yeah, I guess it was that one. Yeah, because I figured it looks a bit nicer, because we only have the very greenish banana trunk, which is not really what you would like to see on these farms.
No, and you wouldn't see mature bananas at that young age anyway.
Exactly. So I kind of made them look older, and I varied them a bit. I took also some other trees over here. So we have like, I think 5 or 6 different banana tree variants now. And some of them are more lush than the others. So in some of those trees, you will see that I rotated some of the banana plants into each other to make it a bit more grown, I guess. Yeah, and plenty of bananas down here. We can actually make a banana smoothie bar later, and it has the local products. Hey, mate, what's going on here?
It's very sustainable.
Whoa.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. Whoa. It's going very
Put on 3D glasses now.
Oh, God. Yeah. So before we go now to the next area, so that's not the only thing I did. So that would be 2 less, I guess. This was not really the idea that I wanted to do. I started off with this building, and it was planned to be something else. But while building it, the farm idea came to my mind. So actually, I added another big building. We are coming to in a bit. But before we go, let's take the right-hand side. I want to say already, Mike, you will have some work with the station. I didn't finish that completely because it drove me nuts. Like, oops, sorry, I did a bit of building here. So the left-hand side here is quite done, and there's only a bit of support missing. However, this is a bit of foreshadowing what you guys are seeing. So here we have some old stones that used to be in this area. And these are special stones from old ruins. And you can see there are also little things written down about these stones, what they are from. Cool. And they add to the story here. So this is over here. You can see I made a little bit of a overgrown wall design here to the left hand side. You can see all the layers now building up to each other. So we have this this exit way. Then we have this tunnel going on. There's the banana plantation. You can see the llamas on top, and on the very highest point there is the zip line.
Yeah, that's nice.
So quite a lot of things layered up. And yeah, as I already teased you in the chat, I did rebuild all of that like a million times.
To really
maintain these sidelines
in the track.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. The track has been slightly moved.
Oh, that's one thing
So
I
to make
can't wait
sure.
to see.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can already tell. Yeah, I told Sylph already. So I secured the bridge. I secured the bridge that Mike was already mentioning to be ripping apart. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna save this from.
Ooh, this is really cool. This little like rockery here.
Yeah, so that's one of the achievements I would say from the South American
Oh
DLC.
yeah, because that's just one piece, isn't it?
That's
exactly,
awesome.
and I kind of copied that into each other, and it completely looks like some cobble, I guess. Yep. It's some kind of cobble.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So now we're getting here, and you can see that on the right hand side there's already something poking through. I don't want to just look at them too much. But yeah, you can see there is a little bridge built over here. So we have a wall. This is like the bridge where the monorail goes to the left hand side. And we have this stone wall to support the right hand side track, which goes into the area, which I also changed. You can see the track is slightly different on the right hand side here. It's changed, but now, yeah. Let's go.
Wait, where did my hiking trail go? Is that gone?
Oh no, the trail is still there. I didn't move the trail. The trail does also go above here. It's hidden though, so you still have the feeling of a trail. I didn't want this trail to be feeling too urban-esque or whatever, so it should actually feel very lush and as you go to the jungle. So this is also why I put the wall here. And from the other side of the wall, you will see later there's some. I put some greenery and stuff.
What the hell did you do?
Oh, that's
kind of looks.
You sounded very concerned about your trail for a second there. I mean,
I can feel the pain because
knowing
how
that thing was put together, I do. Yeah, God.
So yeah, we come into a little tunnel, and I figured that in these hot conditions, you would maybe also have the possibility to sit down for a moment. So yeah, we go down here, have a bit of shade, and we can also take the route back later on in night mode because I did completely all the lighting, and I hate myself for doing
Holy
that.
Holy crap!
Yeah. So now we approach the next area, and I think I fulfilled the biggest demand we had in this zoo. And people were screaming for another education area. So what I did, I built an entire building dedicated to education only. Not only about the zoo, but also about the whole area. And this is the building that you're going to see in the next couple of seconds to the left
Wow,
side.
you're really teasing it.
Exactly. Like I'm trying to get an idea of. Wow. Where did you get the idea for this building?
It is one of also a very famous building in Indonesia. Also, this is one building that has a bit of a Dutch influence, but at the same time,
I was
some
going to say
Bauhaus.
Bauhaus. Yeah, it looks very Bauhaus.
Yeah, it's very modernist.
So exactly, and you find this in Indonesia. It's not. I think it's also like a governmental hall or something in that kind of sense what it used. So this is what I took as inspiration. You can actually see there is someone moving on the top, but he's not coming to the balcony though. That's a shame, because there's actually a pathway on top here, so they could use the balcony. But that is the building, and you can see from the items I had also in the foreshadowing, you have some more ruins here with the little sign that gives you a bit of an info about this. You can also see the lightings already poking through everywhere. You can see all the little lights facing the building. But yeah, so this is the build itself. Oops, there we go. I think it's autosave going on. Yep, autosave.
Love this
and now
door.
we go in and
Man, this makes me wish we had moving doors.
Yep. Before we go in, let me say, this is, I think, the most detailed interior I did so far, and also the one that made me crazy the most. But I will tell you in a bit. It's not like completely done. I would add a few things, but I needed to stop at some point. It was just
disclaimer on the
let's
screen
go
right
in.
now.
You're really hyping it up.
Whoa!
So there we go.
Oh.
This is the welcome desk that is greeting you. We have a little clock on the bottom here.
Damn.
So Actually, it looks pretty cool when it's
That's
illuminated,
really
to be
cool.
honest. There are these little light bulbs in. So yeah, you get yourself registered here at the desk. We've got some cards over here. Yeah, if you have no money, you can just get yourself some money on the right hand here. There is a little ATM in place for you. Or you want to grab some
I
sushi.
recognize these.
You made
You can grab
sushi
some.
platter. Those would probably have to be like coconut rolls, yeah? Or not coconut, like cucumber rolls.
mm, Yeah. Some right stuff. How was it called again, Sylph? You told me.
Yeah. I mean, Rudy and I had a bit of a conversation about this. I'd say that these look most like onigiri, which are like triangle-shaped-ish rice balls with a little patch of seaweed on them, and they really look
and in
like
fact,
that.
what's most funny about this is this piece is actually the nose of the Red Panda statue. It's
Really?
just like I accidentally put that in. I wanted to build like a pole, and I don't know. I figured that one key is like a toggle to swipe through different items in your UI. I didn't know that. You can just quickly swipe through the items by pressing, I don't know, I think the bigger, smaller sign on your
Really?
keyboard. And I was like pressing that key because I wanted to hold down shift. And then I was like, oh, what's that? And I had the other piece rotated in the position of the pole, and it was poking out like a slightly bit. I was like, hey, that looks like
I learned
sushi.
something today.
So yeah, kind of made this. Before we go on, let me just rotate a bit because I'm a big fan of the Spanish moss upside down.
That makes a really cool
That looks
little
like a
house
kind of-
plant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that is also looking at this side.
Even the interior also feels
Yeah.
quite modernist. Like it really has the spatial kind of composition.
I
that
feel like
see
you
in
took
modernist
some
Yeah,
of
and I
your
wanted-
inspiration from that other building that you were doing.
Yeah, totally. I wanted to carry that through, so it kind of is the same type of area where it has been built. So just do different types. But yeah, let's move on. So on the left-hand side, we have a bit of an education area, a first one. So we have this little pond thing in here with some little fountains, a bit of greenery. But yeah, if we go to this side, we have some stuff over different things. So we have something about plants. And we
Implied
also
exhibits, yes.
Yeah, we also have that one. So
Sedimentary layers.
Exactly. So I remember someone used this
that's really
idea
cool.
in the Bengal Tiger habitat, but we
So
didn't
clever.
have some education about this. So I thought, why not bring that in? And so it fulfills the story. Okay, so we have the education, why we talk about these different layers and stuff. I would imagine that this is in here. Yeah, another just
Wow.
hanging planter thing here. Yeah, exactly. So this is what we have here. And let me just go across this little area again. Yeah, you can get some drinks as well. I put the info stands in here just to make people also get here. So these are mainly meant to be people draws. So nothing else. So yeah, another little idea for a little interior design vase element or pot here.
Oh, very cool.
A bit of a aloe vera in. But yeah, so this opens up a bit, so get some light in because the building was kind of darkish, so I changed it. And there, potentially this is the most famous rock, the first rock of the ruin that has been found, I imagine, over here. So it continues the story. I wouldn't go up the staircase, but this is leading into the actual, what I figure could be the education area on top. So meeting rooms and stuff.
Okay.
To be honest, there's actually only a toilet hidden in there, so people actually go there and use the balcony, but it's like not designed from the interior. It's just like imaginary buildings. What we could place in there though, because we have still a high demand on staff rooms, we could put another staff room in there. That would make sense, I guess. Yeah, so
Cool.
let's go. This floor over here is leading to the last area, which is the outside of our education center.
I'm trying to figure out how you made those lamps.
These are the small lamps, and then rotated them around, and then the Christmas bubble in the middle. And this is these kind of
Okay.
little,
Oh,
exactly.
that makes sense.
Oh, did you just paint them black so that they're not
Yeah,
super
exactly.
hot?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then if we go outside, this is what I changed.
Oh,
This is what I sent you already.
Yeah,
Sil.
there it
so
is.
holy
This
cow.
thing is built just on sidelines. Like, I don't know. I think I moved this whole build like 10 times until it was the exact right position. But yeah, so you have this little recreation area out here with a lot more education going on, obviously. And then we have this fountain, and this is where the cobble idea was created. So, not that many, to be honest.
So how many
Not
pieces
that many.
went
I think
into
it's like
this
300
fountain?
pieces in total, including the rim.
Sorry, Sylv.
You say not that many, and
Let
then
me
you
just
say
say,
300
might
for
use
just the
some air
fountain.
conditioning units on top of the building that is 380 pieces per unit. So
Okay,
They look like filters. They look nice.
fair enough. But just because Mike does it too doesn't mean that it's any worse.
you're just worrying about your computer. Hey,
Yeah.
I think that's legitimate. I think it's a legitimate
that is true, yeah.
worry.
You can see how the monorail is using here also the roundish design. I'm just trying to
Wow.
follow that a little bit. Here's also a second
That's so
element of
cool.
your bridge. I just reused this also here. You can see.
Oh, cool.
That's
following
very cool.
that monorail.
So what about
love
the
it.
turning radius of this curve? Because the bridge was made for a very specific
Yeah.
curve that was not only, curving at a specific radius, but also going up
Yeah,
at a certain slope.
I changed it slightly, so I was smoothing out it a bit, just a tiny bit bigger, and I made the exit a lot less curved. So this is actually smoothed out a lot, and I relocated the track actually, so it passes now by exactly where the trail goes up to the zip line. So it's moved a bit closer to the mountain, which actually is cool because then it crosses the trail a bit quicker, so you don't have it too long above your trail. So I think that's also helping a bit.
Right.
So we have some, just simple education over here. But again, I had the issue, and you can still see it's still a little bit of an issue. There are barely any guests over here, even though I opened the zoo now for 4,000 people. So we have
Right.
4,000 guests now, but still barely anyone is in here, even though I put some cool animals in. So this is meant to be another little hidden habitat over here. So you can see poking through in the back, there is also some foliage. And
That's
I
cool.
imagine that this is like for some more shy animals in here. And in fact, there is some, I don't know which one. It was the most appealing tropical exhibit animals. I'm not an expert on those ones. I think it might be the iguana, green iguana or something. Oh, well, we cannot see it right now. But actually to draw people. And again, we have this little custom education board, simply because I'm tired of the in-game ones. Let's say it the way it is.
I can imagine.
So
They're always so bulky.
yeah. They are. The only cool thing is they're lit pretty nicely from below, so that's kind of cool. They make some good floor lighting. But you can see I used also the actual barriers over here, the chain link fence. That went pretty well, so you don't need to build that. You can see I'm using that also on top here.
Yeah.
There we go. Just following the path. And you can see also the air conditioning units, Mr. Mike, they made a return on that building.
Oh, God.
So pieces everywhere. Yeah, this is that area over here, and we have one last little bit in here. I forgot that was also pain to build, but it was worth it, I guess. We also have some water plants in here, water. So actually, this is a real tank over here. So this is really in water, as you can see. There is some water in here.
Wow.
And then we have some cool underwater fauna going on.
Wow.
It's just I imagine that this could be a tank that is like in this stone kind of wall thing. Yeah, however you want to call it. Yeah, and then that's it.
So all of that stone is also using the South American pieces. I
Exactly.
guess.
These are all the temple stones. And you can imagine how much of a pain that is to make them not texturified. So that was, and still look somewhat not too repetitive. So that was quite a thing to do, but I think it worked out pretty well. It's kind of okay.
Yeah, those pieces are just so good for this kind of thing. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
What the heck does it look like on the other side? You've shown us all the pretty sides.
We can just move up at the end and see how it looks from above. It's not like I did already some work. There is some space left, but I did already some work, so it's not too ugly.
Okay, all right.
It's all right. But we have another entrance over here, and on the right-hand side there is also might be like a staff room or whatever in the back here.
Cool.
And I'm quite a big fan also on the floor things.
Whoa.
These are the new pieces from the free update. These are the opaque glass pieces, hexagons.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I thought that
Stealing
was
that.
like a really cool idea for the floor. And I reused some of the carpets, the Indian carpets. Also, a lot of Indian pieces went in here. The Indian set is really cool for a lot of purposes. So,
Yeah, it's still one of my favorite sets.
yeah, also made some roof cable connectors over here. So
Yup, love that.
So we do have also some cable stuff worked in. Yeah, you can see also there are some headlights over here. So it's not all bare bone interior lighting. But yeah, talking of lighting, let's just change to nighttime, I would suggest. I'll just like quickly do this. Oops, there we go. But I put my mouse to... Oh, damn it. Okay, so I decreased the speed of my mouse, so it's actually hard to find the button. So, oh yeah, before we go on, let's just quickly go back outside, because that was... I could have started there. That would have been a bit more easy. Oh, well, whatever. Get there. So, it's very subtly.
Right.
Very subtly lit. We've got some little lighting in the planters, obviously in the fountain, with some of the light bulbs.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Oh, yeah.
I try to not overdo it, you know, just to just have some little lighting in here. I think it works for itself when we have this little exhibit is lit, and then we have these ground lights, and just figured it was a tiny bit too less, so I put another lantern in.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest is pretty subtle lit. The tank is not active at night.
Cool.
So yeah, we just...
I mean, lighting is never about lighting everything. It's always about like making this contrast between what you light up and what you don't light
Oh, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
did you recognize this? I love this from the engine of Planet Zoo. Have you figured that? Look at the building, how bright it looks inside now, because you're outside and it's dark, and you just come in, and then the light just adjusts to your eye. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, we have some museum-ish lighting here from the stone. It's a kind of a little bit of a gallery lighting here. You can see from these little spots on top of the wall. Oops. They reveal a bit of Z fighting. Let's not look at that. Oh god, yeah. And then we have this like invitation desk over here. Some wood design on top. We have some indirect lighting going on in between here, between these layers. And then obviously some lighting in here that lights the counter. And obviously, as I said, this little clock is also illuminated. So you have the...
That's so cool.
I think it's looking pretty cool.
Damn.
So yeah, that is the education center, which we do again need a name for. So people, commenters, let's get in and get some ideas how we name it. Okay, before we just look at all the stuff here, let's just move to the front, because that makes the things a little bit more easy to look at. Yeah, you can see, by the way, this is the valley. It's still open. There's still plenty of stuff that we could fill in.
Wow.
But yeah, so you can see, rotate again, that this building is fully lit as well.
Oh, nice.
Jeez.
Get some cool little color tints in. I made the planters seem a bit more green by some green lighting.
Love it.
And yeah, just also have the color go to the building side, and yeah, this is how it looks over here. And the trail, I didn't illuminate the trail, but you can already tell how much foliage I added here to your trail.
Wow.
So it's
and somebody's using it.
complete. Yeah, there are actually quite a lot of people using it. So finally a usage for the elephant grass, where it's that cloud over here is very, very cleverly placed now. It looks almost like a thunderstorm coming. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Sightlines everywhere, even in the sky.
So yeah, you can see the zip line is just slightly poking out over here, just getting a bit of your attention, but not too much. You can see the planter is also illuminated. Yeah, but just let's move a bit quicker here. So
I forget what was...
This is
okay, this was the way to get down into the education center.
She's very happy. It's all good. Yeah, now you just come out here. Let's rotate around. Oh, that was a bit too quick of the movement. You can see this is... just welcoming
the obvious omission here, which is going to have to be addressed.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bring it up myself. So.
we need an elevator to get down.
Yeah,
somewhere.
It's definitely not ADA compliant. But it's not the only way to get there. So we can actually make a second route going down there. To be honest, this is the only way I did yet, but there is still some potential. But you can see it's all illuminated. I put all the lighting in, made the planters work, and yeah, these trees, I think they just work so well if you light them from below a little bit. So it's really cool how it illuminates this, and
yeah, totally.
So over here to the right-hand side, I didn't do that much because I figured the farm might not be like, it's not the center. It's just a farm up in the hills, and potentially at nighttime it would be closed anyways. So I imagine the lighting is not, also because of the animals, it's not too crazy to not make the animals go nuts. Hey, little girl, you just knocked me over.
I never got to ask, how are you keeping them in?
There's elephant grass in, like, again, elephant grass can be useful though. There's like elephant grass hidden down here, and it's, as we all know, it's acting like a freaking barrier. It's working that way.
God, that's crazy.
So this is how it looked, and just let me to round off the story before we can actually zoom out into the normal viewing mode, to show you my very first teaser where it came from. So that is this one over here. So that is what it was. Actually, I used the morning lighting, I guess, but you can tell already what it was. So that's
in hindsight, I love how simple it is, because it really isn't that complicated of an image. It just really brings out the natural lighting of the game itself.
So that is.
What was this building again?
This one?
Yeah.
You mean inspiration or the building itself?
What does the building function as here?
So that would be the old farm storage building. Maybe it has been something else beforehand, but so this, I imagine that this could be, also it has doubled obviously as a building for the farmers to live in. So they used to build.
But now I guess it's mostly a backstage.
Exactly. So you see that also quite often, that these farms have one of the bigger farms also revisited when we've been to Thailand. They have some huge freaking nice buildings as the central building where the families lived. And then obviously across the farm you have these more simplistic bamboo builds and stuff. But they they have been quite fortunate actually in the times where the farms were very important. So if you've been a provider of some of the royals, for example, potentially you have some good money, and this is one of the in my imagination, this is one of the buildings from a very fortunate farmer, and has been repurposed now for the petting.
Imagine, Actually, this is way off topic, but like my grandparents came from Indonesia, and all I know is that my family was like some kind of higher up-ish, and maybe owned one of these kinds of farms. Sort of deals, but it's all very wishy-washy. Like the family history is very vague, but it could have been something like this. Actually, it very well could have been.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and so that is basically what I built over the course of the week. Yeah, so as I said, it's actually not like, it doesn't look like super crazy much. It's not like Sumatra Island, okay, but it definitely was a pain to build, but it was also fun to build. Now let's oh my god, I'm blind. Let's go out of Tagit Cam and have a look from above. There we go.
Let's see how these things are actually connected here. Oh, okay.
So
all right.
That is this frame actually shows basically what I did. So
wow.
If I still got the old file, I can make I will add in now before and after comparison, okay? So if I remember. But you can see the farm layering up. I think the farm works pretty well also in terms of the overall image from the mountain.
Yeah, dig it.
It looks kind of cool, kind of natural also. And to your question, it's kind of layered, as you can see. So this is the main road leading up. By the way,
yeah, it very much has a farm-like layout as well.
Again, this is all built into the mountain phase, and then you have this now also connected with the staircase over here to the zip line. And the llama's just jumping my custom-made palette for whatever reason. But they can also go in between here. It was quite of a pain to build this with the traversable area, but they can. As you can see, look at that. I trained this with this llama before the episode, and but it seems the food wasn't good enough to make the full path now. Well, whatever. So that's over here. And let me just pause the game for a second so the frame rate is a lot more stable. So this is the building. And to your question, as I said, it's not as ugly from the backside. It's all
connecting to
really connected. And as I said, I made the trail a little bit more overgrown already. So you can see.
So, that's really cool.
Yeah, there you go. And this is like the little trail. As I said, I've hidden as much as I could to the left-hand side the monorail, so it's not disturbing your view too much. And then I figured actually this is the actual barrier.
That's clever.
And if you use
really?
Thank God Frontier changed this in yesterday's patch, so I could change it again. The barriers work again with terrain, so thank God I have the option back. And now what you can do, you change the option, like you place down your barrier and then you just select them all and you change the way from flat top to editable bottom function, and then you can drag the bottom all the way down, like more than 2 meters, whatever, and then you can make actually the fence as low as you want. You can even go to like 10 centimeters if you want. So yeah,
and the cool thing that I've seen people do is that they'll actually put a bend in the top of the fence, so it actually looks like wires that are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so it kind of is cool because you can drag it up and down as you want. You can adjust it, and so I did over here to make sure that this is a bit more secure, to make people not just jump over here. Actually, we have a double security. There's also the chain link fence over here. So
love it.
Yeah, and then you go all the way over here, and obviously I kept the sidelines over here. I made sure that you do not have any issues to use the telescopes. You can still see the tigers. Yeah, exactly. Yep. This is still here, and yeah. Oh, by the way, I changed just very slightly the outer fence of the Bengal tiger to make it just blend in here a bit nicer.
Oh yeah, this is all getting fixed. This is this is a mess right now. The back of the Bengal tiger exhibit.
Yeah, but it's working kind of cool. And actually, the Bengal tiger was roaming around quite often in the back here. So it was interesting. But yeah, so the last little thing I started, but then I gave up on doing.
It does connect back to Sumatra Island. Very
yes,
cool.
It does. I started on the bridge here, but we can figure if it's sitting here or not. It doesn't really matter. What I did though is I connected the backstage of your restaurant, Sylph.
Oh yeah, that's very close
I did connect that with the building and the big hub in the middle, just to get ourselves already an idea of this area down here. And I put already the the veterinarian habitat in, as we called it. No, the medical habitat. As an idea. You know, we don't need to use it here, but I thought this might be a cool location to have it.
That's great.
Because that would be actually another bear area zones, yeah.
So we gotta talk about one thing, because this has never made sense. The Spire restaurant was supposed to be the Pink Flamingo or whatever. Maybe not that name, because that's terrible. Pink Grill, I think is what the name was.
Flamingo Grill. Let's have a look.
The Pink Flamingo is a strip club.
Flamingo like and the Pink Grill. It is actually the Pink Grill.
Wait, where is the strip club?
It is the Pink Grill though.
The interior and the amount of space. How does this function? How do people get food?
This is the way that I always thought of it was as some kind of just rest or education building or something like this. Restaurant is definitely out of the question.
Is there any way to make it into because it's supposed to be an eatery. It's supposed to be an eatery with a terrace.
I mean, yeah, it could very well be expanded, but you might have to add something at the back and perhaps a terrace at the front. But I
wonder though, maybe we can utilize this area down here to make this like a garden area to sit down. You know, that this actually is the entrance, but then you have like the stair going down that connects to the gardening area. So this is basically hidden away a little bit, and then the bridge would actually make sense.
Right.
Well, I always had this idea. And
besides... I think it could very well be this kind of thing where the building itself is very small and just kind of more of a takeaway thing. And then the restaurant, the food establishment is surrounded by a larger seating area where people can go with their food and sit at places. Because I do find that a lot of zoos don't really, have these full proper restaurants, but rather just small takeaway buildings surrounded by larger seating areas.
Well, this could be like a great Hawaiian barbecue joint and just have a big counter on the inside, and then you've got a kitchen connection on the backside.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let me just, while we talk about that, let me show you some last things, because we were talking about sidelines.
I've had this idea, and it's kind of in that area that we're working on right now. I've wanted to do a Soarin' type attraction in Koali Zoo. Because they do have flying theaters that aren't licensed by Disney or patented by Disney. There's like I don't know if there's a ride system that actually anybody
what is
else
Soren
can buy.
like exactly again? Because I vaguely know it, but for anybody who's watching and doesn't really know much about it, could you just explain it real quick?
Sure. So the way that this particular thing loads is there's a big mechanical arm that comes back down. You load into seats as if any other ride vehicle, but what it does is when the ride starts, it swings you up so that you're up in an IMAX dome or something like that. So you're in this big theater, and it makes you feel like you're flying around without actually any sort of danger or motion sickness.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't
That's
actually
kinda
been on
cool, yeah.
Soren, but I can say I went on a very similar ride in Fuji-Q Highland based on the Attack on Titan anime. These things are just absolutely awesome. So I think there could definitely be some potential for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really, really great. I can't wait. So, Mike, you already have some ideas what you're tackling next?
No. I've got to finish things before I add anything else. But I might come through and scrub a little bit because there's some things I saw.
Awesome.
It's awesome, Rudy. It really is. But it's just I'm a crazy person.
No, don't mind. Everything's fine. Just want to show you. Please don't destroy the sidelines though, because they are fucking nightmares. As you can see, I planned them all. Like you come down here and you have to look at that building on the left-hand side now. You have to. It's really dragging your attention here. And then the telescope makes a lot more sense because now you can look to the Asian temple, or you can look over there. So I have a bit more.
So the foliage will have to be very carefully planned around these areas because we do need a very lush, thick foliage all around the park as well.
Yeah, and then you have this building.
Oh, go ahead.
And wait, where was it? Or did I? I know it's from the bridge. Okay, yeah, from the bridge over here, you can see this building. So it's exactly sitting in here. So you have this drag your attention there. And yeah, when you come down here, you still have this building. If you go down, this is, by the way, the second connection I was talking about, which I didn't do.
Oh, nice.
I just kind of left. I did a bit of support work over here, so that should be fine. I thought it's an easy win to copy that over from the other area, but hell no, it's just exactly mirrored. But thanks. So yeah, I redid it on this side.
Awesome, it looks good.
On the other side, I went in fully custom. This is something you couldn't see. So this is a bit of a area here, which is connected to the ride. And you have all the foliage and some reuse of the cobbles again. And
I like the cobble. I'm going to do more of that around the base of the track. I think that works really well.
Yeah, that is basically... Well, no, not basically, as I said a million times. That's it. So, full stop.
All right. Go back to the sightline you want to preserve, because I think I have an idea.
You mean... wait. Whoops.
Yeah, the one at the... Yep.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take that whole section up, and I think I'm going to put a giant formal garden in there.
Oh, awesome.
So you look towards that Bauhaus building, and you've just got this really formal, really strong lines on either side, and then just probably trees on either side. So you really focus your attention to that building.
This can actually also be where the peacock goes in. Because people have been asking quite a lot, and honestly, I was experimenting with it in that area, but I would figure it's too small, and I didn't want to have the, I tested it, and then you have to have all these habitat elements, food, drink stuff, and pipe, and blah, and no.
Yeah, that would have been too small. We'll probably have to wait for Vista points for some of these areas that are not being used. But a peacock, I could see it there. I think that'd be really cool. And then you can have outdoor seating for the not flamingo, pink flamingo. No,
the pink grill.
It's the
pink grill.
Pink grill. There we go.
What makes you keep thinking about a stripper club?
I don't know, man. It's been a while. I love it. I mean, this is so cool.
Yeah, so I hope you guys like it, because obviously I went ahead without actually checking in too much if anyone planned anything here. So the only thing I did ask the lady if she was planning anything in that area, but she was fine with it. So I took it. I didn't ask again. I was like, okay. Well, in fact, I did already build half of it. So
I really, really love the way that whole area just kind of unfolds.
And
yeah, exactly. The layout of it is really cool.
So yeah, I mean, do whatever you want with it, because I think I kind of try to lay it in a way that you can use everything as simple toolbox elements and draw them together if you want. So some planters and stuff like that. So they're all easy to manipulate and just move slightly.
Nice.
But for example, the tunnel could be quite hard because the foliage and stuff around obviously is sunken into the ground. So the tunnel is really just maneuvering through there. It's just, between that little bit of foliage. So quite a lot. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed it and like it a lot. And obviously,
well, that changing any sort of things with paths, trying to make things smoother, it's going to require ripping up certain sections, but the idea will still be there.
Yeah, especially that one. Like over here, I honestly, if I had a little bit more time, I would have changed that whole slope over here completely. Like
I may have to go back through and fix this one.
Like I think it could still sit here, but it needs to start going down way earlier. So it might need to change already right off here to make it really subtle.
Or it needs to be incredibly sinuous so that you can move it back and forth, down and down and down and down.
Yeah, exactly. So I was testing a bit in here. Honestly, it shouldn't be an excuse, but main reason is that there is a barrier here, and before the patch, I had a certain problem.
Right.
And I couldn't start doing that earlier than over here because of that barrier. And moving that barrier further back would have resulted into some issues with this area, and
Gotcha.
So that was.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So the terrain was blocked, and then you had the station, and honestly, I didn't want to touch the station. I did that once, never again. So yeah. That's about it. All right, so we're quite a while in.
Fracking beautiful. It just is.
Yeah, it's such a cool area.
Okay,
so I have one criticism though. The bananas inside the habitat. How are we gonna prevent them from eating those bananas?
You're right though. Yes. These ones are not reachable, but the rest. So we might want to hang them all a bit more.
Okay.
But no, honestly, I don't know. Maybe just put a fence around.
You could always put a storage shed and just have like a storage tower or something like that.
Yeah, and these llamas are pretty demanding when it comes to traversable area. So you can make a freaking wide open area, and they still won't go there because they demand the space of a freaking elephant. So.
Wow.
It is. Let me just quickly show you. What the elephant grass does over here. It's so insane. Look at
Whoa!
But, I mean,
it really strips it down. Holy crap.
Look at that. It's just like the elephant grass is sitting, like there's a huge gap in between. Look at how huge the gap is.
That's crazy.
And look at how tiny the traversable area results. And I mean,
so is it because the elephant grass is too steep? Because it's basically a vertical hitbox? Because I've seen a lot of animals also just climb on top of them. I've even seen deer climb
I
on
don't
top
know
of elephant
what
grass.
it is. Maybe because the geometry of the elephant grass is very complicated because it's so lush and stuff that they basically just made a way more simple shape around it as the hitbox. But it seems that this shape seems to be very immense and like it really acts like a solid block of concrete.
I mean, that's exactly what they did. I think they used a cube as the actual the hitbox, and then because they used a cube and you put a bunch of cubes together, well, then there you go. You've got a platform.
Yep. Oops,
yeah. True.
But yeah, man, I'm so happy that this is done. So for the people on my channel, that's mainly the reason why you might see a little bit of a delay in some other content. The focus might have been on that one. But yeah, no.
Sylvan and I are like, delay? What? We don't have content.
Yeah, exactly. Koali is one of the few videos I ever even upload.
I would love to have a name for this llama ranch too, or this llama farm.
Oh, yeah.
Something else that we can kind of give.
Oh yeah.
Some sort of significance to.
Oh yeah, awesome. That would be good. Yeah. So the farm, obviously, and it's a Cusco farm. It can only be the Cusco farm. No, I'm just.
It probably should. Yeah. I like that name.
Yeah.
And then we have the education center. I must say I'm a fan of the building. I love the,
so
I love
cool.
the style. Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
I really like the landscaping around it too. Really, really well done.
Thanks.
Especially on the back. The circle with the monorail is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
I think it looks, to be honest, it's a bit of a shame. It looks even more impressive from above. Like you barely want to see that from here, but yeah.
I mean, but that's modernist architecture
Yeah.
in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
It would be so cool. Like if we do get the chance to have custom billboards at a certain time, you could put some nice aerial shots in there, because there's some bare space on the walls, and I did put some images on, but I don't know, I didn't like the style of it. So maybe in the future, if we can make some actual paintings or whatever, we can take some screenshots from the aerial shots. I think that could be cool.
That'd be neat.
And yeah, maybe one last thing, because I kind of love the fact that I carried this through the whole thing. So Mike, you built this roundabout, I think we can call it, and I wanted to carry this idea throughout the entire build. So everything is working here with circles. So having the round shape everywhere in here, like even this little fountain down here resembles that. That one cool. I needed to change this a bit up. I had a roundabout here, but this looks ugly as hell when you go in with the staircases and stuff, so I didn't do that. We have the fountain, we have this one in here, and yeah, the clock inside the building, the little clock element. Everything works with these roundy shapes and pods. And
so cool.
Kind of carrying that idea through the build. Yeah. That's it. I think we can wrap it up.
And you look at my disaster in Sumatra Island. Oh, God.
Oh, we're looking forward to that. So, yeah. Not only in progress, also in terms of time, we are well in a Rudy-ish episode again. 50 minutes. So, I really hope you enjoyed it, people out there watching it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And please let us know in the comments down below how you like the buildings. And obviously also please give some name suggestions for the buildings. That would be awesome. And tell Mike what to do in Sumatra.
I know what I'm going to do. I just need some help. I need some structures in there.
I was just kidding.
If you need any buildings, then just give me a shout.
Sweet.
Awesome.
You're going to regret saying that.
Okay, sure.
So now Mike has Ricey and Sylph on loan. So
that's right.
So that's going to go good. All right. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I want to wrap it up here. Many thanks. And yeah, stay safe, everyone. Have a good one and goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Take care.